It's been a while, and we have a lot to talk about. I have a list over here. Let's go through it. Welcome back to Not Another Podcast, where I talk about what we're doing, what's happened, and this is my attempt at documenting life in real time, not for people now, but so that in 15 to 20 years, when it matters, people will be able to see what I did, how I did it, and be able to replicate my success, if not more, by learning from my mistakes and the things that I talk about. So, this will mostly be a recap of the last 8 or 9 weeks that I haven't recorded. I have struggled immensely with some just inability to stay disciplined over the last few weeks, and that is the reason that I haven't recorded. So, it's a failure on my end, and I do not want to let it happen again. I don't even feel good now, like recording this episode, but I know I have to do it. So we're breaking the cycle. That said, where have I been the last 8 or 9 weeks? I've been to Tampa, I've been to Nashville, I've been to Vegas, Orlando, Naples, and Nashville again. What I've been doing. First and foremost, we had a great successful trip to Nashville doing artist content for different artists up there, doing short form video content. Not only was this trip significantly more profitable, but I also made more wonderful connections, worked with some phenomenal artists, and I really honed in the process for the shoots as well and made it super easy front to back. I actually worked less on this last trip than I did on the first one, made more, and I only changed one thing. Of course, honed in the process for the shoots a little bit, but the really only dramatic change was one thing. It was the price. Alex Ramosi says that one of his favorite ways to make more money is by just increasing the price of the thing that you're already selling. Yes, your conversion will go down, but probably not by such a significant metric where the people that still buy won't even out, the playing field essentially as far as money you're making. So you can work less, make more, and then have more time to focus on the people that are paying you significantly more. So, like I said, I did just that, and to no surprise, it worked, which is awesome. Hundreds of videos made, dozens of happy artists, and some more viral content. We actually crushed it this time. We got a few really solid hits where all the content was doing pretty well, 3,000, 5,000, 6,000, and then this girl went and posted a couple of my videos, and both or all three of my videos did like over 100,000 views. So that was a win. That felt really good. We had a few of those actually. This one guy posted, his name's Alejandro Preschel, and he posted some of my content in 500,000, 200,000, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, just racks on racks as far as views go. It felt really good to be able to do that for somebody and, just be my content. And they paid $69 to have some viral pieces of content, which is awesome. So now I'm getting, and I wrote down over here, I wanted to say this too. Some of the artists are also just buying their content as they use it. So some people didn't buy all of their content at once or buy everything they wanted all at once. Some of them can't afford to do that, which is fine. So they're buying the piece of content, they buy it, they use it, they buy it, they use it, they buy it, they use it, which works out for me because I get a small monthly income stream. It's small, but it's $100, $200, $300 a month that comes in from different people buying their content just once every week, once every couple weeks or so. They'll send another, 70 to $140 for more content. And it works out super well for me. And they get their content, I still get paid, and everybody's happy because their content's performing super, super well. So that's working out pretty well, and I'm really happy with that. I will be making an in-depth video here pretty soon. I want to do one more Nashville trip and have all the metrics from that, and I think I want to make that video. I might just do it based on the 2 trips that I already have, but that said, I do want to make an in-depth video breaking down exactly how I do that. Huge W, I delivered a wedding gallery that I am, or not a wedding gallery, but a wedding film that I am stoked on. I think it's really going to set the bar for wedding, narrative wedding films, and possibly, I think we're going to be able to get some phenomenal clientele over that, with that type of stuff, and get paid a lot of money for that because it is so good. I can probably link down in the description below Caleb and Mihal's wedding film. Freaking fantastic. I love that film, if I do say so myself, because I made it. between trips and going out of state, I've been doing a lot of work in Orlando and in Tampa. I've done a couple weddings with my buddy JD. JD and we work super well together, and I think we could really do a number on the wedding industry. He and I work super well at weddings specifically. Like, we always work well together, but we work super well together at weddings. So I think that we could really do some killer work, do some killer business. In Tampa, I've been doing a lot of work with Emergent Media. They hire me a lot to do like 511 The Club here. I do Barstool Nashville whenever I go up to Nash. So I'm easy to work with. I'm flexible, and that's why they like me. So huge W. I don't know what this was. I also had a quince gig, the quinceañera, that me and my buddy filmed, which was a super interesting experience. It basically just treated it like a wedding, but it was a big quinceañera party because quinceañeras are like coming of age parties, like 15-year-olds for in Hispanic culture. And it basically runs just like a wedding. So I just treated it like that. And honestly, it worked out. It worked out well. Nothing, no real huge curveballs on that one. It was a long day, but otherwise, nothing super crazy outrageous. Um, Now, this is a bigger update. I started running ads to book weddings, and they've been doing fairly well in general with generating leads. But booking people has been significantly tougher than I expected because when I'm booking for the artists up in Nashville, it's a lower cost of entry, so I don't have to pay as much to acquire the customer because they're not spending as much. They're spending about $280 per person. Whew, so oh god, I only have to spend 50 bucks or 60 bucks to get them on the calendar as far as running ads and booking leads goes. But with weddings, they're spending $2,000, $4,000, $5,000. So it has cost me a lot more money to experiment with this side of things. So, like, for example, I have written down here, I just spent over $1,000 and booked one person for a $2,000 wedding. If I had to hire out and associate shoot that wedding, I wouldn't make any money. So I want to get the acquisition cost down to like 250 to 350 bucks, which I think is just going to take running, like, just testing out more ad creative. I think it's just going to come down to how many different ads can I make and just trying out 40 or 50 different video ads and seeing which one crushes. Now, I have found a few that are doing really well. Typically, the comedy ones do very well. If you can make people laugh, they want to sign up for it. And if you show more personality, people are reaching out to me because they like my personality and my energy in the ads. And then my energy comes through in text as well, and I send voice memos. So people are seeming to really, really like that. But if I can get that cost of acquisition down, even to $350 to $500, we'll be rocking and rolling. Because actually, I've updated it since I wrote down all this metrics. I booked 2 more things, and my cost of acquisition is about $750. So I'm not too far away from that $500 metric. So I'm spending about $750, booking, $2,000 to $2,500 things, and then after everything is said and done, expenses wise, I'm only taking home like $750 to $1,000 worth of that, which, again, not making a ton of money, but making enough that I can still continue to do it and experiment. Because I have most of those people on payment plans, so they're paying me monthly now, and I'm just able to use that monthly expense to pay for the ads that I'm running to acquire more customers. So with different ad creative, I think we can really do some damage and do some good stuff there. Payment plans seem to be a really good hook for people. So instead of just doing your typical 50-50 or 30-70, where they pay 30 or 50 up front and then pay 50 or 70 after on the back end, just have them on a payment plan to get them paid off by the wedding day, and then everybody's good. And if they're planning far enough in advance, and they can get a 12-month payment plan because their wedding is 12 months away or 14 months away, so you can get a 14 or 16-month or a 20-month payment plan. It's not bad. It brings their, $3,000, $4,000 service down to between 150 to 350 bucks a month, which is at or just below a car payment. So W there. And then let's see. During all of this, I was also doing everything I could to prep for the marathon, which I just ran 2 weeks ago. So ran a marathon, went to Nashville to run the Rock and Roll Marathon. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Rock and Roll Nashville. And My history with marathons is pretty rough. I ran the rock and roll last year at the same time, or this time last year. That's how you say that. It was my first marathon, and I had a knee injury part of the way through that kept me from finishing at any time that I would really have wanted to. My legs locked up on me like crazy. Finished with a knee injury at 4 hours and 55 minutes. Recovered from that, trained like crazy, and then went and ran an ultra marathon in August, at which mile 26, I started to have an injury, 25, 26, 26, 27, couldn't run on it anymore, and then had to walk the last 20 miles of the race on that injury, and then I was out for about 6 months. Couldn't run more than 2-3 miles for that entire 6-month period at a time. So that was incredibly rough. Then in March, I had a breakthrough, and I finally got that knee healed. 7 to 8 weeks later, I ran this marathon, and I hit a 4 hour and 16-minute marathon and finished almost injury-free. I said I was injury-free until I realized about 2 days later that the arch of my foot still hurt. So I think I actually did injure my arch a little bit. It doesn't hurt anymore, so I'm pretty happy about that. I feel it a little bit, but it's not bad. I wouldn't consider it an injury, just residual pain from just the stress, because I have high arches, and I didn't realize that until I finished that marathon and couldn't walk on my right foot. But I still finished in 4 hours and 16 minutes, which for 7 weeks to 8 weeks of training, I'm really, really, really happy with. Actually, super happy with that. Now, I do need to train my ass off for the marathon that's coming up here at the end of this month. This one's going to be a pain. So here we go. I did a 4-week caffeine cleanse to completely get rid of any caffeine in my body and get rid of any of like the addiction, stuff like that, and do a like dopamine cleanse. And it really did work. I was not as happy for 4 weeks. But there were a few rough days where I was more exhausted, and I almost gave up on one of the days, but I felt great otherwise, and I feel proud of myself for at least pushing through, and now we are in full swing back on caffeine. So very happy about that. Felt great otherwise. I enjoy coffee and drinks, so I don't want to give them up permanently. I may give up energy drinks and just go with coffee, but that's TBD because I am high on my energy drink supply currently. That said, I am feeling very optimistic about the way that things are going. I felt like a little bit in a rut lately, just energy wise. Like, where am I going? What am I doing? I felt behind because I am the weakest of my friend group as far as like where I'm going athletically. And it just, I have to remember the why. I have to make things easier to remember. I gave this advice to a friend of mine recently. I asked him why he was making music. This is an artist. And he gave me his reasoning. And I said, make that easier to remember. And I looked around and looked at all the things that I've done. Like, I have a don't stop when you're tired, stop when you're done, whiteboard up here. I have the golden circle exercise on this whiteboard over here. And I think that I thought that those things were making it more clear, but I don't think it is. I think I actually need to take my own advice and do what I can to make my mission, doing it for other people, more obvious and more clear from myself. And I need to remember why I'm doing everything that I'm doing, because I don't think I actually have made it easy enough to remember all of those things. And I felt pretty lost because of that. So I need to work on that. But that's been where I'm at. What I've got coming up this week, I've got a shoot, but mostly I'm going to be working on creating a lot of those advertisements, scripting. I'm going to do a lot of BTS content for my own social media. And I am in full prep mode for this marathon here at the end of the month. It's the BPN Go One More Ultra Marathon, Last Man Standing Ultra Marathon, which I'm very, very excited about. So thank you guys for watching or listening to this episode of Not Another Podcast. I hope you enjoyed this little recap, 15 minutes of just me talking about what I've been doing. It's very selfish, but I think it'll be important for people someday to see where I'm at and where I'm going and what I'm doing. So I appreciate you coming through and watching. If you're watching this, 10 years after it was released, go after it. Go get it. I don't know where I'm going to be at that point. I hope that I'm further than where I am now. And if I am, use me as an example of what's possible. Go after it. Get out there. Do the thing. And I'll see you guys next week because I won't miss it again.